Good evening. I would like to call the April 9th, 2026 Wall City Council meeting to order. Katie, would you take roll, please?
Stan Anderson,
Here.
Morgan, Husted,
Here.
Williams,
Here.
Hawk, Mike Anderson,
Here.
Hoffman.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Let us stand and say the pledge of allegiance. Deputy Turner, would you please lead us?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any order of business for emergencies
No, we do not.
and attendance on Zoom?
Councilman Stan Anderson.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to invite Deputy Turner to the podium for your deputy report, which is included in our packet.
Howdy all. March was a pretty good month, nothing crazy going on. Some odd calls here and there, but mostly just kind of some misunderstandings taken care of pretty easily. Nothing else too crazy going on. It's not part of the report that I will add, but I will add that there's a pretty decent scam going around that I know some people have been affected of. Most of the time involves getting an email or a text message from the DMV claiming that you either have to pay something or they need to get in contact with you. It's just a big scam going on. I know a couple people in town, including myself and Deputy Christopherson, who have both gotten text messages for it. So just kind of be on the lookout. If you're not sure what it is, don't apply. That's about it.
How did prom go for us?
Prom went very well, beyond a surprise fire alarm. Due to the fog machine, it seems like it went pretty well.
Well, that's very, very good. That's
Kids seemed like they had a real good time. The school put on quite the show, so
okay, fantastic. Okay, thank you, Deputy.
absolutely.
Okay, the next item is to adopt the agenda, but I'm going to request tonight that we move the International Dark Skies Proclamation ahead of visitors, Ted Schultz, as well as the Wall School Report. Would I have a motion to make that move?
So moved. Second.
Zach moved, Rick seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Do we have any conflict of interest to declare tonight? Anyone on the council? Okay, hearing and seeing none. The first item is to approve the minutes of the equalization meeting that was held March 16th.
So moved.
Mike moved.
There needs to be a correction on it. It's on the second to last one, on the Ball Drugstore, 6305-300-013. It had Husted made the motion and it should be Hawk because Husted abstained from it. Make that motion with that correction?
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded with the revision in the minutes to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you, Zach. Okay. Next is to approve the minutes of the city council meeting, March 19th.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, we have our claims in your packet. The first is the city bills. The city bills amount to $109,000 $847.84. Also are the fire department claims amounting to $735.63. The library is $492.51. And the cemetery is $111.51. Do I have a motion to approve?
Some,
Mike moved,
with the, this is for all the review, isn't it? Or just the employee OT? Is water usage, sales tax and all that? Oh, I'm sorry.
no,
No, sorry.
no, this is a item number 11.
Yep, I'm ahead of
City of
you.
Law,
Sorry.
fire, library and cemetery. Okay.
Second.
Okay, Mike moved, Zach seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Thank you, Stan. Okay, now, under review is item 12. There's on-call schedule, employee overtime, sick and vacation report. There is the water usage report. Anything significant there tonight, Garrett, on water?
Is that 19%?
Yes. What's that?
Is that 19% water loss? They went up quite a bit.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. Well, see what next month brings. I don't think got anything major.
Okay, then the sales tax, and there was an updated sales tax laying at your chair tonight. Compared to what was sent out.
Did the BBB get updated as well? Cause I saw that was off as well. It should have been $10,174.52. And it was sitting at.
As far as I know, did
No,
neither of you.
I didn't see that.
Was that
Thank you, Zach.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull.
because. And you're talking about the $6,000 amount that under year to
25.
date? That's the number that you're.
Yeah, because. Month prior, we're at $7,293.06 and now,
2,000.
That very top line though never gets included in the bottom dollar amount because that's actually the previous year's revenue that we just don't receive until January. So we, in the calculation on the bottom, we should be missing that top number.
okay, so it's just not calculated into it yet.
It won't, because that's actually for last year's collection. I mean, it's what was the revenue that was for last year, but we just don't receive that till January.
But in February, the year-to-date total was 7,293. And then you go down to March and we had an increase of 2,881.
Oh.
And so
the
that
same
should bring
thing
it up to
happened. I see what
10,000.
you're saying.
Yeah.
I see, okay.
And
So I think it was that same formula
Yeah.
probably that we discovered on that other, so.
Okay.
Thank you, that should be corrected. That makes me feel a lot better too, to have both those numbers corrected.
Mhm.
yeah, because it showed that we're at a positive.
Correct.
And not a negative for the BBB anyways.
Okay, also included is the budget reports, both the expense and the revenue, and I appreciate that we've been able to update the report now with the new software, using that capability, as well as the cash balance report that was. Are there any other questions or comments on any of those items you'd like to bring to our attention? All right. That then moves us to item 13. And as I indicated, I would like to do the International Dark Skies proclamation, introducing Risa Hofer, and we have with us Emily Berry. And would you like to speak to this International Skies before I read the proclamation or after? What would you prefer?
I think we'll speak to it before,
Okay,
if that's all right.
absolutely.
Okay.
Would you like to go to the podium and let Emily join you and introduce yourself too?
Yeah. I'm Teresa Hofer, and this is Ron Diddick. I'm gonna turn that around so they can see.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
And we are pulling the Badlands Observatory in Quinn. We are here representing the South Dakota Dark Sky chapter of the International Dark Skies Association. We want to thank you very much for your consideration and support of proclaiming Dark Sky Week, International Dark Sky Week, the week of April 13th to the 20th. It's very important, as you know, for the park and many of our other tourism venues that we support are very nice resource and scarce resource, becoming scarcer all the time with dark skies. We obviously have seen a lot of people at Badlands Observatory that come here in search of night sky experiences. It's been just a tremendous amount of fun. We really appreciate all the people that come here and say, this is just amazing. We cannot see stars where we live, and this is just amazing. So we very much advocate the protection of dark skies. What I have for you as a gift from South Dakota Dark Sky chapter is a photograph that this is actually a poster that's sold in the gift shop at Badlands National Park. It has special significance to me because it was taken by my friend Jeff Rowden, and he is a professional photographer from Knoxville, Tennessee, who loves to come out to the Badlands every chance he gets and capture the night sky. This particular image is a 360 panorama. I was not with Jeff when he took this, but he later took me out and showed me exactly where he was when he captured this image. Basically, he was in one location. He was tracking the sky, and he pivoted his camera, rotated his camera around 360 degrees to capture the whole panorama. This is a panorama of over 200 images that he stacked and processed to bring out all that beautiful detail in the Badlands. So this particular this poster is for presentation purposes. So I brought it here tonight so you all could see it. I have Jeff has granted me reproduction rights on this image, and so I would like to print a metal copy of this for you. That will be ready to hang, so you can hang it wherever you would like. So I'd like you to take this and try it on for size and see if you need something bigger or smaller, and we can adjust it to whatever size you would like to have. In addition, I brought this Night Sky Guide to Our Galaxy. This is also an item that's sold at the gift shop in Badlands National Park. And of course, we just thought it was very fitting that we should bring some gifts from there and support them as they are a funding mechanism for the park. This night sky has all the constellations by season, so that you can look up in the sky and know what you're looking at as far as constellations. It also has a Bortle scale on the back, So when you hear people talking about light pollution and the different classes under the Bortle scale, this is what they're talking about. So you can take this and you can look up at night from your location and see what your Bortle scale is. I know that Rapid City is now at the top 9 for light pollution. So that's, so we like to watch what's going on there. But Rapid City is also proclaiming Dark Sky Week, and we seek to continue to support, to educate and promote awareness of Dark Sky Week. This is also an in-depth look at the Milky Way galaxy, which is one of the features. 80% of the people in the United States cannot see the Milky Way from where they live. So this is certainly one of the features that people come out to see. They want to see it for themselves. They want to show their kids. It's really just a lot of fun the first time they see it. This is a map of air glow, shows air glow within the United States. And so you can see all the yellow areas, all the very polluted areas in the United States. A lot of them on the East Coast, as you can see, and we get a little better out here, but we really need to protect that because it can disappear very quickly. Up in North Dakota, where they had very dark skies, as soon as the oil refineries came in and they had to burn that all the time, their night skies just virtually disappeared. So we just really want to promote awareness about how quickly we can lose that. With me tonight, thank you very much, Emily. This is the first time I've met Emily.
Yep.
But Emily works for the Badlands National Park Conservancy. They are doing very big projects for Badlands National Park to make it just an even better customer experience, visitor experience for everyone. Emily is the community advocate.
Yep, community ambassador.
Ambassador and operations manager for the Conservancy. So we really appreciate her coming, and I will just turn it over to Emily.
Thank you, Teresa. So as Teresa said, I'm Emily Berry from the Badlands National Park Conservancy, and I just want to echo what an important move it is to do International Dark Sky Week proclamation. It's just incredible awareness to that importance of dark sky and the fragility of dark sky, and protecting this incredible resource. And we as Badlands National Park Conservancy are helping Badlands National Park pursue international dark sky park designation, which will have Badlands and really this region as a whole be internationally recognized for those dark skies, and drive that interest in tourism, specifically for that astrotourism. And this is just an incredible economic opportunity as well for the communities of Wall and the tourism businesses that serve the people who visit Badlands and the Wall community. Astrotourism visitors stay a night longer than the average tourist. They spend more money than the average tourist, and they visit in the shoulder season. And so really promoting that dark sky awareness with things like the International Dark Sky Week proclamation help tell our community how important those dark skies are and how they really can be an economic vehicle and engine to grow shoulder season tourism and protect this really invaluable resource that has economic potential, is important to wildlife, migrating birds, it strengthens ecosystems, and just really drives visitation to the park.
So share with us what event you have going on in July.
Yes, so July is Badlands' cornerstone dark sky event called Astronomy Festival. And that is July 17th through 19th this year, and pulls 4,000 plus visitors come to that event over the 3 days for visiting speakers. There's universities from as far away as Utah that bring telescopes to set up after the event. It drives hotel stays, drives campground bookings, and then also has daytime activities with partner groups such as us, the Conservancy, Oglala Lakota College, South Dakota Space Grant, all sharing astronomy knowledge and enthusiasm with the next generation. Astronomy being a really important gateway science for young kids, as kind of a lot of times their first touch point into getting really interested in astrophysics.
So in the near future, are they gonna have some like really awesome astronomy equipment? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so one of the opportunities we're exploring with International Dark Sky designation for the park is to build the next generation of dark sky observatory. And so we are in the very beginning phases still, but Mayor Williams is teasing for you that we are in the exploratory planning phase to see what it would look like to build the largest observatory that is in a national park here in Badlands, which would massively drive additional visitation as well as research collaborations, both here regionally, nationally, and then also internationally. So during the day, it's hard to study the night sky, and that's the same anywhere you are in the world. And so research collaborations with a dark sky park in Australia to be able to have, them be able to use our equipment remotely and vice versa. So incredible opportunities for regional education, driving interest in STEM, research collaborations, and then also the park being able to use that to enhance their astronomy programming both during the day and at night.
That is incredible that that's coming to our park, so fantastic.
Yeah.
So with
And
that,
we appreciate the City of Wall's partnership and all that happens at Badlands National Park, and especially Mayor Williams' interest in our activities and in Dark Sky Proclamation.
so I'll share the proclamation at this point then. So let it be that the office of mayor, whereas the aesthetic beauty and wonder of a natural night sky is a shared heritage of all humankind. And whereas the experience of standing beneath a starry night inspires feelings of wonder and awe and encourages a growing interest in science and nature, especially among young people and out of area visitors within the community of Wall. Whereas the opportunity to view star-filled skies over Badlands National Park, Badlands Observatory, and other parts of the Black Hills and Badlands, and therefore attracts tourists to this region, which economically benefits Wall. And whereas Dark Sky International, the globally recognized authority on light pollution, recognizes International Dark Sky Week to raise awareness of the effects of light pollution, provide free education resources and solutions to the public, and encourage the protection of and enjoyment of dark skies and responsible outdoor lighting. Whereas while embracing the larger movement, the Wall Dark Sky Week event is focused especially on protecting and enjoying dark night skies. Now therefore, I, Mary Williams, Mayor of Wall, do hereby proclaim April 13th through April 20th, 2026 as International Dark Sky Week in Wall, South Dakota, and encourage residents, businesses, visitors, employees, and neighbors of Wall to join me not only in observing and pondering upon this important week, but also in raising awareness and support for protecting our precious dark sky as a resource. So with that, I'd like to present this to you, Emily and Teresa.
Will you email that here to me? If I scrambled for myself,
John's gonna get a picture.
You done?
Is that better or shot?
okay. If I have one over here, what do we?
Oh.
There we go.
There we go. All right, one more close up. Thank you. Yeah. Beautiful picture. So, Rashawn, do you want to, if they're playing on lady, is that what you're gonna do? Rashawn, would you accept that and keep that?
Yeah,
There you go.
I just was thinking of where we're gonna put it.
No.
There is the mayor.
That's all I guess.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. It's a beautiful
This would
picture.
be helpful for promoting, we're gonna do an event, May. Take everybody down there.
So then I would like to bring Dr. Browser to the podium and I will give her report. She has school tomorrow, so she needs to keep moving tonight.
Little did I know that I was sent out to check peppers in the dark, a long ways from the house. Was the dark a good thing? And people come from miles to see the dark. I would not let myself run back to the house, even though I was scared of the dark. No. It amazes me the good things we can find in everything if we just look into it. And little did I realize when my dad would say, no, we aren't buying a tent, you can sleep under the stars. Did I realize people were into this?
But what part of South Dakota were you trying to check heifers in?
What check?
Where'd you grow up at?
Mud Butte?
Mud Butte.
There's
that is-
nothing out there. It's very, very dark.
Dark and very stark.
There are no, I learned, yeah, my dad was a big star guy, but, there were no yard lights because there were no neighbors. No, I do want to introduce Ashley Kiris with me tonight. Now, she doesn't need, most of you know her, but she is shadowing me because she is working on her administrative degree. So, one of the pieces tonight was, hey, you want to get an hour? You come hang out with me tonight. So, she's with me tonight. A few things, it's April and it is busy at school. Prom is over and I thought Deputy Kerner was gonna forget the most exciting part of his march. Was watching, kids dance to music that's so loud you can't hear that, we couldn't even hear the fire alarm go off, for a while. No, so prom is over. That means state student council, we sent a bunch to state student council in Rapid City. We're trying to get our student council a little more in the leadership role. We are also sending 5 teams to state FFA here in a couple weeks, so we have 5 different teams going to that, and that will be in Brookings. Right now, as we speak through the weekend, we have several kids at the state art competition. So they take paintings and different art pieces, plus they have a live art competition where they have an hour and a half to draw, paint, whatever category they're in right there. And so that's one of our South Dakota high school activities that Miss Hayes has really developed at Wall. Something else we did in March, several of our board members, business manager and I went to Washington DC, advocating for impact aid like we always do. State legislature is over. As you all know, some new laws with the property tax is going to change the way our school funding looks. So we lost a lot of money with property tax. Hopefully, we will gain that in state sales tax. Or with the sales tax, but what that's going to do for schools is less support from our local, more support from the state to equal approximately the same amount. I'm always a local control girl. I like to be able to run my own ship. I hope that we continue just a good relationship. I love being from South Dakota. In South Dakota, when it comes to school, because we do have local control and we want to keep our decisions here in Wall for the good of our Wall kids. Cleanup day, we have gone around and around. Normally, we like to do our cleanup day for the city that first week in May, but because of the Energize conference and getting that done ahead of time, I think we're gonna have to move it. We had one day scheduled, the 27th. That's not gonna work because we're trying to clean up and we've got home track meet.
Yeah.
So we're going to move that to April 23rd. Can we have your services, or what, I shouldn't say that, on April 23rd, that's a Thursday. If we rain out or something, we'll move our part to April 30th. Which would be a week later, and boy, if you need kids, you know, last year I think you had them cleaning. I've got some kids that you could pick thistles. I don't know where these thistles are coming from this year, but they are thick every time the wind blows. But if you're having other extra projects, just let us know if there are extra things that you want us to do with some kids, and we could probably round them up. We do have track meets that day, I believe, but we still got quite a few kids. It's budget time. I kind of shared a little bit about budget. We also have been doing teacher negotiations and all the things that comes with school leadership. I'm excited. We do have quite a few people, I shouldn't say quite a few, but we have enough school board upcoming, what do I want to say, not applicants, but we will have a school board election. And that will be our new laws, that will be at primary election, like June 2nd.
Mhm.
Yeah, June 2nd, so we will have school board election. Oh, I forgot to mention this, I have so many notes, Ashley Keir is, I don't know if you saw it, I hope you did, region for 5 through 8. They call them lower regional coach, but it's for middle school. She's definitely not a lower level coach, but anyway, and, Brian Kirkstead, I believe, got region coach of the year, so, I really like to brag about what we get to do at school. April 16th is a day I want us to, you maybe saw it kicked out on the website, on the Facebook page, but I'm having a visit day. It's also our CTE fair on April 16th. We have a lot of businesses coming in with demonstrations. I've also opened it up. I'm inviting legislators. I don't know if people will take me up on it. I'm inviting 8th graders, other kids, homeschool families. There's a lot of money out there going to, or private schools vouchers, and I keep my very good relationship with all those, but I want people to see the wonderful things we're doing at Wall Public School, and so I'm inviting anybody and everybody to come visit. I know we're serving hamburgers that day at lunch, not free, but, and that's local beef, which I appreciate the folks who, we've got, Lynn does a nice job with our meat program where we don't ask for donations. Ranchers get paid for their meat, and because we want to keep it sustainable, and yet we get to still feed our kids local beef. So, I know there's hamburgers for lunch that day. So I do ask if anyone's wanting to come and hang out, that you call the office by Monday, so that we're not just gonna roam the halls, it's gonna be organized. And then on Friday, April 17th, we have the CTE supper and auction over here at the community center at 5:30. And what that is, we're auctioning off some items that the CTE kids have made. I know there's a little shed to be auctioned off. bunch of those cool fire pits where they're cutting out the, use the CNC machine to cut out so that there's some neat fire pits. He's got cornhole boards. There's quite a few things out there that they've got that they're working on or have finished for that auction, but that's gonna be over here at 5:30 on April 17th. What have I missed that we are doing? Oh, Freshman Impact. I am not an organizer of that. I'm simply wrote the skit and I'm trying to round up kids to do the skit, but I understand Hope Shear has been working with you. Thank you so much for letting them use the parking lot. And I know she's doing most of that organizing, but I just want to say thank you, and I'm kind of excited for it to meet here in Malden. It's easier for us. Yeah, those things. Any questions for me?
Sally, when is the impact?
Freshman Impact is Wednesday, April 29th.
Thank you.
And it is pretty, and from my understanding, well, what we normally do is, I think it's still kind of in the works to do kind of a meeting with first responders. I'm not an organizer, but usually that's the Monday night, then Tuesday night, they meet and go through the skit and everything, and then Wednesday is the full show. Or all the programs and all of that, so.
How many other schools are coming this year?
It's just us four, small schools. New Underwood, Phillip, Cadoga, and us. And this is, if you remember, it was in, I think it was here years ago, and then it was in Douglas, and it's scheduled for the fall, the day before we get this message email, after we prepped everything. It's not gonna happen because something Douglas did, so then Rick was scrambling, Rick McPherson, and he showed up, and I was vulnerable and said, sure, we'll figure it out. So, I'm glad they're bringing it back here, and it's been 20 years, they're having a big deal, at Crazy Horse. And I guess I don't really know why Crazy Horse, but anyway, celebrating 20 years. And so I told him I would participate, because Wall was one of the first places to have it. So anyway. Anything else?
Did you have a question?
Oh, I was just gonna tell you, we'll be there, the fire department will be there.
Yeah,
We have like 20-minute schedule, and we'll do like, have them put on bunker gear,
Yeah.
show them tools, and
perfect,
so. keep 'em
perfect.
busy.
Yeah, no, it's a fun day. When I was school counselor several years ago, I used to take kids to it. And, yeah, I always enjoyed. Mr. Wayne Scholl is gonna be our main actor. I've got a bunch of kids, yeah, and then
He's deceased.
I know, well, you gotta build that in, and it's like, in a small town, that's hard. Because, the other person I was gonna have ended up being the father of one of the freshman kids, and I'm thinking, and they make it very real.
Oh, yeah.
They make it very real, so I didn't think that was quite the right idea, so I have to I get kind of hardened, guys, and I just wanna carry forth, and sometimes I have to remember I'm working with kids. But anyway, no, I'm excited. It's a busy month, but I like busy, so here we go. Thank you for the city of Wall for just always supporting everything we do.
Absolutely. Thank you for what you do. And your faculty for students.
Yeah. Oh, Teacher Appreciation Week too is the first week in May. I can't forget that. Paraprofessional Week was just last week. And I don't do a good enough job of saying thank you, because we just push forward.
Okay, thank you. And have a good day tomorrow for sure. Okay, so we saved the best for last. Should I say that, Ted? But
You telling them to top that.
Yeah, I don't think I can top any of that.
But we saw that big pile you walked in with, and I said, oh heavens.
Like,
So Ted is here tonight, he's our city engineer, and he's bringing us some alternative ideas or options about our drainage. We love that you support the forest loggers.
I did, we did a lot of.
That is a good
lot of
thing.
Printing.
Support logging, yeah.
Absolutely. I still like paper, you know, electronic is good,
I
but I
do
still
too,
like
it's all
paper.
good.
Let me talk about drainage tonight. So a topic that is important. We always want to make sure that drainage and stormwater is going in the right direction, right? So what we have been tasked with is there's been some recent flooding around from William Street to Houston Street, from Sixth to Seventh Avenue, that kind of immediate area. If you look at the first two pages, kind of give you the mix of the areas and the map of the stormwater drainage. So a lot of our drainage in the city of Wall comes from south of the interstate. So it crosses between the Walker property and the cemetery over by the Wall Auto Livery and gets into a detention cell over there near the south end of Houston Street. So that's where the drainage sort of originates, and probably when the interstate was constructed back in the sixties, and you know, the old highway still sort of remains there. That drainage sort of got established at that point, and how it gets through the city of Wall. So as I mentioned before, the city of Wall is sort of a cup of water, and it won't spill out, right? So we have the wall to the east, which would be nice to just take that water over the wall and be done with it, right? But instead, it follows through the city and goes basically from I-90 towards Dakota Mill, you know, winding its way through residential areas. So by the time it gets to the railroad at Dakota Mill, we've got a significant amount of water. The area that we addressed though in this report was from I-90 to Sixth Avenue. Okay, that immediate area. And because of that localized flooding, we came up with 6 or 7 options to study. So we studied those options. We applied the South Dakota Department of Transportation design criteria and drainage manual to that drainage calculations. And we came up with these alternatives. Okay, so I will cover those alternatives here, and feel free to stop me and ask me questions at any time here. I'm gonna start with option 1, which is the south side of I-90. Okay, so currently there's a pipe that crosses underneath I-90 south of exit 110, south and east, and that drainage carries through and travels east of the town. But there is a overflow point where when a large amount of water is coming down that area, it will actually build up and then overflow and travel east down the ditch, down the South Dakota DOT ditch. And if you drive out there about a mile and a half east of exit 110, there's a lot of erosion on the south side of the interstate. So that has been an option. What we were looking at, can we divert some of this water and send it that way? Well, at first glance, it looks like absolutely, like this looks like a great thing. At second investigation, they're using our design calculations and drainage calculations of how much pipe capacity that pipe carries. It actually is limited. Okay, so what that pipe does, it's only 24-inch diameter underneath the interstate. It actually limits how much water can get over into the city. So by diverting that water, we would be diverting 9 to 10 cubic feet per second. So it's hard to gauge how much a cubic foot per second is, okay, for me to express that to you. But it's about the amount that'll fit through a 24-inch pipe, okay, and carry through. And so that water could be diverted, but it's at a cost. Okay, so we would end up on a steep incline coming down that I-90 ditch. And that would have to be protected with gabion baskets or concrete mats to prevent the erosion in the ditch line. So by doing that, that cost was about $245,000. Okay, just to accomplish that. And it's several hundred feet, it's a lot of grading, we'd have to cut down 3 to 4 feet of grading in the ditch line. And we would need to get DOT approval, or the DOT would need to build this. So, you know, those are the options that would have to happen. And we had met with the DOT previously. They don't have this on the radar. They weren't terribly interested in pursuing it. We could continue to keep it on their radar, on their list. And it would still help the city in the future if we can get this done. But, so we looked at, ultimately, we looked at how much water gets to the point, I'm gonna say near Sixth and Houston Street. So that was the criteria we used, is how much water actually ends up at that point. And how much does every option reduce that flow? And so when we looked at that, that option actually reduced that flow very limited. Okay, so only 2 to 3 CFS reduction in the 50-year storm. So limited improvements by doing that. Ultimately, we felt like we still would need to do another option, which I'm gonna get to. It's gonna be option 4. We would need to combine option 1 and option 4 to actually accomplish what we needed to do. Okay, so you're gonna find that I'm not recommending this DOT diversion. I think I would suggest that we put it on the DOT's list and see if that they're willing to tackle it. The other thing is they have a tremendous amount of erosion down at the bottom of the hill that would probably worsen if we directed this water down in that area. And they're aware of the erosion, but they haven't repaired it at this point. So I don't know if that's on their radar either to repair that, but
That's just a long culvert too. It's not. Well, it is erosion because there's just holes in that culvert.
yeah, we ended up stopping down there and yeah, it's kind of in pieces right now, right?
Yeah.
So,
So thank you for taking those pictures,
Yep.
because that tells me they can't ignore that.
right,
They're gonna have other issues if they, but if they think that we're thinking about doing something, that's why it's not gonna be on their radar, but
And I don't even know if you can do anything yet because it is a state right away.
we'd have to have their permission.
Their permission, yeah, they have to.
We'd have to have their approval, we'd have to get a permit to do that work. And the pipe that they had in the bottom of the hill is might be 18-inch pipe, it's not very big.
Yeah.
So there'd be significant improvements needed on their end, let alone to get what the city would want to accomplish. So I would suggest we table that one and put it on the DOT's list, okay? Option 2 was to expand the detention cell. So that's the area between the old highway, near between the Dinosaur and Houston Street. There's a small detention cell there. It's got a 15-inch pipe outlet that then outlets into what I'm calling the Houston pasture. So the area east of Houston Street, you know, south of Ted Street and all of that area. So that detention cell is a fairly expensive endeavor to actually construct and expand. It is possible. That cost is about $485,000 to expand that detention cell and improve the outlet pipe and all that goes with that. So again, we looked at the cost of that. It's high. We would still need to pair that with option 4 to prevent flooding down at near 6th and 7th Avenue, okay? So pairing that with option 4 increases it to $629,000. It's really not a good value, because in the end, we end up with a limited improvement there in the 5 CFS range in the 50-year storm. So there's a limited improvement, but it's not significant enough to warrant the cost that it would take to do this work, okay? So eliminated option 2. Option 3 now is basically a ditch over the wall. So I said earlier, hey, and we're at this elevated plateau, can we get it down below? Yes, we can actually, it is feasible. And we needed to do the survey, that work that we did with the drone, if people saw the drone out there, I don't know, but. We had to do that work to be able to tell you, yes, it is possible. Okay, so we would need to cut in a ditch. Starting in the middle of that pasture. We would need, landowner concurrence and approvals and easements and all that would go with it. We would end up with a cut in the 3 to 5 foot range through the area. Basically, if you extend 7th Avenue almost due east, that's where that ditch would go and head over the wall. Okay. So the one great thing about option 3 is it basically picks up all the water and takes it all over the wall. Okay. It doesn't really allow very little water to continue to flow down to 6th Avenue. Okay, so that option ends up, reducing flows by 23 to 36 CFS in that 50-year storm. So pretty significant, pickup there. It would take away almost all concerns, I would say, in that 6th Avenue area, 7th Avenue area. It also benefits the rest of the city by reducing the flows that ultimately get to the railroad crossing at Dakota Mill. And so this is the most comprehensive, I'll call it best solution, but also expensive. Okay. So that option we have estimated at $456,000. So it accomplishes our task of taking away the stormwater that we want it to. But it's also that $456,000. Okay, so we're gonna leave that one on the list as a possibility, is what I would recommend. Is that we don't have, but tonight I just want to get your preference on which way we want to head, but for right now, we'll table that one and leave that on a possible list. And I'm gonna go to option 4A. So option 4A. So ultimately, a lot of this water gets down to the area from Husted to William Street on 7th, okay? And then it sometimes goes behind the homes there and then floods some of those homes. All right, so right now that 7th Avenue essentially is grass. And there may be some gravel in there in the past, right? So the street ends at Husted and then it doesn't extend to William. By doing what I'm suggesting here with option 4A, we would install a curb line and a gutter to carry water over to Husted. Okay, and that would pick up water and allow it to not travel down between these houses and the apartments where it's been flooded. So it would pick up that water and take it into Husted Street. So we're not reducing flows, okay, we're redirecting. So with that, we would end up with the same flows downstream, but it would be redirected and it would end up not flooding immediately behind those homes and causing issues. So, and let me talk about that option 2, which was option 5 and 6. Okay, so option 5 is an option we looked at briefly to take some water down William Street, to divert some water down William. Well, it turns out, based on the survey data that we got, that it's very flat, very marginal on whether it would benefit us. And because of the grade, it was actually going the wrong way a little bit. So we eliminated William Street as an option to carry water. And then we looked at, okay, what can we do between the houses and the apartments? Can we improve that ditch line back there? Okay. So the city has a 15-foot wide right of way for sanitary sewer and drainage. And right now, there's a lot of trees, fences, and other things back in that right of way, okay? And for us to stay within that right of way, we would end up needing to take out a tremendous amount of trees and fence and all of that.
So some of those fences are built in the right of way, is that? what you're saying to me?
Now you're gonna put me on the spot, Mary. I think there's some possibility of that, yes. So I know that definitely the big trees are right in the way.
Trees,
So,
yes, for sure.
there's a couple different fences back there that might be impacting, but,
Okay,
we did look at that. We had that on the list as maybe a leading candidate originally. Well, it turns out that the grades back there and the elevation that we can gain really isn't beneficial. There's just not enough area and enough depth that we can get back there to carry enough water. So we could improve that ditch, but we still probably are gonna have the flooding that would escape out of the ditch and into the lots. Okay, so I can't lower that ditch enough to keep the water in. Okay? And so we eliminated that as an option. You know, partly because there's a tremendous amount of, impact of property owners as well, okay? So with that, I'm gonna talk about an option 4B. I don't wanna get us too distracted, but going back to 4, it's the curb line on 7th Avenue. So at some point, possibly in the future, the city could maybe expand and 7th Avenue may be extended. If so needed for transportation reasons and connectivity and all of that. So, 4B is basically creating a road out of 7th Avenue over to William from Houston. For about 1 block, okay? So it's not helping that much in drainage. It does help a minor amount in capacity for drainage just because it's paved. But it would help in transportation wise in that area. So it's not something I'm recommending. I always want to give you an option or an idea. If you ever had a chance or you wanted to pay that, it could be done. And it still would work with what we're looking at for drainage here. Okay, so that estimate was about 228,000. So it's more than the 144,000 we had with just the curb and gutter and the path. So I think that one is probably not on the table unless you really have a need for extending that road. All right, so I think I've covered all of them, and really the leading candidates are that conversion over the wall, option 3 for 456,000, and option 4A, which is a curb and gutter with an 8-foot concrete, gutter pan and path for about 144,000. So those are the 2 options I recommend that you consider. You don't have to make any decisions tonight. If you want to, give me your preferences, we can, begin to pursue things here, but I don't have an engineering services proposal ready for you tonight, just because I wanted you to kind of determine which option you wanted to select here. And I can answer any questions you might have.
I think option 3 kind of helps the city as a whole though, because it just takes all that oncoming where we get all our water from and diverts it the other way.
Yeah.
So Ted, with like the current ditch that's back there. Nothing would be changed with that. That would still be, it'd be just left the way that it is, correct?
Being homes.
Yes.
Yeah, we wouldn't do anything back there.
And then, if we did get the big storm and we are routing that water, how much is that changing?
Very good question. Yeah, very good question. We did look at that. It does put a little bit more water in Houston from 7 to 6. So a little bit more water than what was in the before, okay? It does have, we look at the 10-year storm, the 50-year storm, and the 100-year storm, 100 being a very large storm, 10-year, on the 10-year frequencies kind of a basis, but the 10-year storm can be handled in that street like that. Once we get over the 10-year, we could see some water going over the curbs. We could see some water actually maybe going over the curb and down that ditch that where the water presently goes, but it would be still reduced. So it is not 100% guarantee that all flooding will be alleviated. I want to just point that out on 4A. It is a significant improvement behind those homes, but it is not 100%, guaranteed that the biggest storms could still impact that area.
And do you think by moving some of that water over to Houston that it could potentially end up going the other direction to the back drainage?
No, I think we got enough slope in Houston, from 7 to 8, that I'm not terribly concerned that it's gonna cause any backup there.
Maybe just put more.
I think we'd probably put more between 7 and 6, would be the areas that would potentially see a little bit more water.
And what about that area off of the corner road that goes over by the backside of Sealer's shop over there? Was there any changes gonna be done there at all, Garrett, that you're aware of?
No.
Cause that's not currently worse, correct?
Yeah, it goes through there.
It just isn't working the way that it was
Right.
designed.
It could be, in Todd's shop area, we could clean that out a little bit better.
But even then, the way that it was designed, is it, I mean, cause it almost seems like it wasn't.
From basically 6 over to Glen through that whole area, yeah,
you got-
it could be widened out. It's just not wide enough is the thing there. It's Garrett and the public works staff over the years have cleaned that out and cleaned that out. You know, every storm we kind of regain sediment and it sort of fills in. But improved drainage through there would be recommended, and a wider ditch with a little bit better slopes would help.
So isn't it gonna go down Houston Street then behind Prairie Village?
So pretty much just be, instead of in between the apartments, it would be on the stream to the west. It'd still go under the bridge, you know, so it'd be like
Yeah,
a
it
straight shot.
did before, so we're having the same amount of water go underneath that little bridge as it did before. No change there.
So what was making you think it was gonna get over behind Todd's shop?
That's where it runs, it goes around, goes between the trailer court and Prairie Village. Then it turns and goes west.
Oh, after, okay, cause I thought maybe the problem with that culvert is sometimes it gets a tire in. But if that tires, I can see.
That's once every 100 years.
I see now where it goes.
Mary, I thought we talked about this. a little bit. Trying to clean the culvert out, hit the tire and the cable broke, so the tire was stuck in there. So. Very nice.
Okay, so once we get by that culvert, then I see where it's coming from.
It's gonna flow really good now that there isn't a tire.
Yes, it is. I bet it will take a lot more water.
Mm,
And that was kind of, some of my thinking is, you know, a lot of that water, I mean, it's eventually gonna go somewhere and but it's if you can reroute it and give it another flow pattern to allow, you know, to come in at a different time would certainly help quite a bit, I think.
Do you think that would come in, it would come out Houston, would it be faster? You know, cause it kind of goes slow behind those houses.
It could be a little bit faster there, yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could just get rid of it altogether. I mean, I like that option going over the hill, but. I mean, it is expensive, but it's gonna,
Take a lot of water going away from everywhere else.
So we'd have to cross the bike path if we saw that
Yeah.
and end up with a kind of a down sloping pipe down the wall and all that. It'd be a little challenging there to get it down, but it's certainly possible.
Would it be then to having some of those baskets and stuff for that erosion?
Yeah, we'd have baskets on the bottom.
Right.
and I wouldn't pull the
Keeping
tire.
baskets on there.
Good. Stan, did you have any comments?
I did have one question. I kind of couldn't understand very well when you were talking about the option one. There's a problem with that, or that's still a viable option?
It's an expensive option and the pipe capacity is limited, so we're sort of creating a dam there on the interstate as a dam. And it's limiting the flow that gets actually across the interstate. So by just blocking that off, we are reducing the amount of flow a lot. That ultimately gets to Sixth Avenue. Okay, so we, modeled the detention cell in there and modeled all of this, and it really isn't a significant help down at 7 in that area. It's still on the table, Stan, but there is so much, I guess, erosion on the DOT's end, further downstream that I think there's some issues with that as well. And just a lot of cost there for the benefit we're getting.
With the one on I-90 there, it's quite a ways downstream though, like downhill.
Yeah.
So is that even really causing a problem for,
Yeah, that's where it still gets to.
it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'd have even more water going through where that culvert's washed out.
Yeah, but it's all downhill from that's why it's,
No, you have to remove,
Well, it's actually right at, so the upper culvert,
yeah.
there's a 3.5 foot berm in the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's causing that water not to go that way now.
Yeah.
It's about a 3 foot berm.
There used to be an end on it. No, anymore.
In Nebraska.
No, it's somewhere down in that hole.
So where does that water that's hitting there and caused all of that, where is that currently popping up at? Or are we even seeing it?
what's causing that?
Causing erosion.
Yeah, where,
It's coming from the area between the cemetery and Walker's.
but where is it, once it hits that hole, where is it surfacing at? Or is
It's
it,
100 feet or so through the hole and into the pasture. It kind of goes on a private ground.
so it's kind of heading south a little bit then?
It is heading, yeah, southeast there, yeah.
I think option one, that's the DOT's problem, and then option three should be more what we're looking at to kind of take the water flow and divert it away through town. It's a little bit more spendier and stuff, but if we can find a way to budget it.
How do you feel about that, Rick?
I don't really want the ditch in the horse pasture. You can figure out how to get it out of there. You're putting the ditch in the horse pasture and then in our other pasture, which we farm. So I'm not so concerned about that, but it seems like if you could take it over and get it out of the horse pasture and then build.
Yeah, I think, if we built a berm down at the fence line of the horse pasture, down towards Williams. If we built somewhat of a berm there and captured it there, we could somewhat stay right near the 7th Avenue kind of extension. And maybe limit what's in the horse pasture.
I would like that.
So follow that fence line on that.
Kind of follow the fence line.
And you're not really, at this point, planning to put a road there.
At this time, I don't expect, we are building a road there soon, but I guess it's all about development. If any development ever happens on that kind of the horse pasture area, I guess that's the main reason to build a road there.
But that could be dealt with later.
Yep. And a culvert could be put in, you know, through a ditch, to put a road over top later.
Sure.
And then where it would go off of the. So when it would go underneath of the walking path, there'd probably just be like a concrete washout below with kind of like a little bridge over the top of it, because you go under it.
I just put it, we'd have a pipe completely underneath the bike path, so it wouldn't really change the bike path. Impact there too much. We'd end up with shoulders that are wide, I mean, you know, so that if someone was 5 or 10 feet off the bike path, it'd still be fine.
Yeah.
So,
This is. That's fine.
Right, yeah.
you know, and we could. Talking about. The ditch through here, right now I have it at a 4-to-1 slope, which is a standard back slope for a ditch. To make it less impactful, we could flatten that to a flatter slope. Back slope. It would take more excavation at that point.
So the option that they're visiting about is the $456,000 one,
Yeah.
as opposed to doing what you're calling 4A,
Yes.
which would be $144,000.
Correct.
But
But option 4A doesn't
Doesn't.
take care of any water downstream.
you're, yeah, you're kind of only. Not even really solving,
You're moving the problem from the back of the house to the street to handle, for the street to handle the drainage.
To the front, yeah.
And it'll still all get flooded like it did before going on Fourth Avenue and Dakota Mill and stuff like that.
Well. I don't care, was there logging issues when that happened last time?
What is that?
When it happened to back up here by Dan's and the shop?
No, it happens every time it rains, or every time we get a big rain.
So that wouldn't change, like, option 4A wouldn't change the amount getting down to the road.
It'll be the same. And we did clean that ditch out back there, it's wider and stuff.
cause I remember it was like. 18, maybe 19. When we lived on Hewstead, and a big storm came, it filled that holding pond
Right.
to the south.
Right.
And, you couldn't see the sidewalk or the road on either side of the street.
Yeah.
And that made me nervous, cause it came up into the lawn, but then I looked out the back and it was all the way up to the fence line. I mean, that little ditch in the back was not, I mean, it was, I mean, so our houses were.
Yeah.
Gonna get it from both sides, you know.
You know, one thought here is that if you do pick option 3, which takes a lot over the wall, you could actually make the pipe out of the detention cell bigger to carry more water out of there quicker and put more water, you know, through that area.
How hard would that be?
Just replacing the pipe isn't that big a deal. I don't have an exact number. It might be $50,000. You know,
Well, that's interesting, cause is that 24 too?
it's only 15.
15?
Yes.
Well, that doesn't help.
Yeah. So it's meant to detain the water, hold it back and meter it out at a slower rate. So, but if we had the option to go over the wall, then we are less concerned about metering. And we wouldn't have as much flooding on Houston Street like you just talked about. When it overflows out of that detention cell.
Cause where does that drain? Is it at the bottom of that holding cell or is it?
No, well, yeah, there is a pipe in the bottom over on the east side, basically of that cell. And the overflow is more directly in line with Houston Street.
So you're gonna see it flow till it's darn near empty.
Yeah.
But if we could go off the wall, put something bigger, because we could route it faster.
Just out of curiosity, what would be the impact after it gets over the wall?
Yeah, as far as like what it's gonna do down there,
Yeah,
there's a couple of stock dams down there, you know, that it would flow to. And it would get metered out in those stock dams down there. It would add more water down there and create a little bit more of a channel. There's a lot of channels down through there, right?
Yeah.
It would create a little bit more of a defined channel, I'm guessing. We would get it down to the bottom and let it filter out, and we could make a depression even, so it had a little time to little stilling basin. But it would add more water down there.
Is there any cattle or?
But it goes, I mean, it already goes underneath the interstate.
Yes.
It's white water creek down. You know, the slopes would be on that.
34%, wasn't it?
On the back slope or?
Or on the,
32 or
on the ridge going through the path, I mean, is it a gradual?
It's very gradual, 0.4%. So
So that would answer
it's pretty flat.
your question, Rick. He was wondering if they could still pay that when it went through.
Well, the side slopes are the problem, right?
Yeah.
So we could try to lay it back, a little bit flatter. But we can work with you and talk through that if that's an option. But as far as where the drainage goes, it's fairly flat, but we do have these. It's amount of how much dirt we move, right? So every cubic yard of dirt we move costs more money, so. We can certainly look at it though.
I don't know, my feeling behind it is, I mean, we finally have an option, I mean. Because we keep bringing the water through, we're not getting anywhere, we already know it don't work. And then when we do get big through there, it creates a whole nother mess that you guys, I mean, we're cleaning out and it just, I think if we have an option to get rid of it in that area that quickly.
We've had multiple concerns about it, brought to the city about the flooding behind there and stuff. Too, and wrecking houses and. If we can do an option that helps the whole city too, and especially those that have been asking for it, then. Try and find a way.
Well, and off the wall is, in my opinion, I mean, it depending on the amount of water, but I see it as once it goes off that wall, you have very minimal issues.
well, and Ted, maybe towards the wall, maybe there could be a bit more pipe so you could get a piece of farm equipment
Yes.
over it.
Yep.
So they could do the other,
Yep. Absolutely.
and maybe that doesn't look like enough, but.
Yeah, right now, the bike path is maybe what, 8, we can. So there's an area that's mowed up there, we can basically kind of keep that whole area clear and open, which looks like 30 or 40 feet.
Cause the price difference from doing something like this or doing a culvert system or to get the right depth and material and all that stuff, what would that cost to go from there to Dakota? Off the other side,
Millions and millions,
it's
really expensive.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me about that you're not really getting rid of it. You could, move that water over there. Like you said, when that really big storm ran over there, then you're gonna have the other water and it's all gonna be.
It's gonna help a lot in a 10-year storm and less. Once we get to the 50-year storm and 100-year storm, we're not gonna see a lot of benefit out of that option.
And I think we're kind of to the point with, honestly, whatever money that we spend on it, we should be moving towards a permanent fix. We should be investing our dollars into coming up with a solution. So that's my opinion.
And probably, it seems like the other side of the interstate option. It's really expensive, it doesn't really benefit that much, and then. No offense, Zach, the DOT, bureaucracy can be a lot to deal with, they're a big organization, we're a little town.
None taken it.
But Ted, we encourage you to put that on your calendar like every month, just to make a call and visit with them and tell them. That would be great if they would get that on their budget. So the people that have been real quiet is our financial officer. And
I was just actually looking at the cash balance report. And the wastewater fund is very minimal in the money market. We can't plan for it this year.
no, absolutely not.
But in the next budget, you can supplement from the general fund if you wanted to plan for a project. And we actually used to do that quite a bit years ago, but then they kind of started sustaining themselves, but now they're kind of depleting again. So, yeah, it could be looked at more seriously next year.
So what has to be done, Ted, in preparation of being able to budget for next year? How many, I mean, we spent like 28,000, I think, to get us here.
Right.
Then what gets us to the next step before we start moving dirt or putting in pipe?
So I think the next steps would be to, maybe massage if you select option 3, massage that a bit. And meet with Rick and talk through, easement options. And see if that's an option that we can get to. And agree to, something that works for both parties. I think that's probably one of the next steps, if that's what you wanna do.
What are you seeing as far as like costs, Ted, like? Annually, like, what do you think that is gonna be next year?
For engineering services, you mean, or?
For that project?
Or how much will go up for the inflation, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a little hard to say right now. 2 or 3 years ago, we had very low competition, very high prices. Right now, we have high competition and a lot of bidders on projects right now. So projects that had 2 or 3 bidders now have 8 or 10.
But the price didn't go anywhere, right? It's still high.
You know what? It's come, I would say it is at least leveled off. Okay, I think it's holding steady. I think you'll see material prices continue to go 2 to 3% higher every year. But I think overall, construction, labor and that is probably it's gonna be lower in 2026 than it has been the previous 2 years. So if you can tell me if we're gonna have a world war, somewhere in 2027, then I'll tell you what might happen, right? So it's hard to say what might happen in 27, but 26, I think, is a good bidding year. Hard to say what it'd be in 27.
So Garrett, we had kind of a water issue over there on, was that 3rd? And so where's our next water break gonna be in the north part of town?
Could be anywhere up there. From 4th Avenue to.
it was Second Avenue.
Or all the way up to the new plant.
Second Avenue is what you were talking about, weren't you? The one over.
Oh, yeah, first is by football field and then second. So. That's. Just pray for that not happening right now, right, if we embark on that.
Hopefully that 19% hasn't. Doesn't have a main break.
Yeah, that's something we'll have to get with Ted. Get a 5-year plan for a lot of that.
So Stan, have you been able to hear this recent conversation here?
Yes, I have.
So what are you thinking?
Well, I would agree like with Mike and whoever else, if we, obviously we can't do it this year, so we got plenty of time. And I think if we, whatever we do, we want to make sure it's going to work. And even if it ends up costing a little more money.
Okay, so what, with that being said, and knowing we can't do this year because of where we're at, but to get lined up for next year, and he's indicating that there's gonna need some. Have you got any second thoughts, Ted? The look on your face right now.
Well, I think we're on the right track. If you guys have a preference towards pursuing that option, if you want to basically look at easements, look at, improvements on the design possibly that we can make. And refine the cost estimate further and start to get it scheduled for next year, early bid it, let's say January of 2027, if that works. That way you're early in the season, the contractor's ready to go.
I think that's a good idea. Looking at the easements, working with Rick, and then kind of looking at, I mean, different ideas and to move forward.
I like the idea of making the 15-inch pipe out of the retention pond bigger. What would you think you'd end up going to?
Probably 24-inch or something in that order.
That'd make quite a difference.
Yeah. And I can look at that as an option, with this option. I think kind of combining, having it separate so we know what that estimate would be, but yeah, it's something that I wanted to bring up to you, but as you can see, it's sort of complex with all the options, so I didn't want to add another option.
Could you shorten that up at all?
Potentially could shorten, it's fairly long right now.
So, yeah, so it comes out here,
It's about
goes
300,
in there, and then, it comes out way down,
it's about 300 feet right now.
quite a ways down, like behind. I think it's almost behind Stan's house.
It
Pretty
is.
close to Stan. Yeah, and so maybe you could, it wouldn't have as much cost and putting that pipe all the way.
We could look at shortening it.
Okay, so am I hearing a consensus then that we would. Like Ted to proceed to. Have discussion with landowners and. Thinking about some refinements. And then. Come back with that information and we. Make a definite decision then and. Plan to build that into our budget. As Carolyn's indicated that might be possible.
Yep.
And proceed forward. So I'm getting a consensus here and here. What's your thoughts? Okay. Stan, I didn't speak very loudly, but did you hear our thoughts?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. So do you feel like you have a direction, Ted?
I do, yeah,
Okay. Right. All right,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
yes, this is,
Thank you for options.
yes. Yeah.
okay. And you will reflect that in the minutes that way then, right, ladies? Okay. Okay. So now, we're at public comments, and that's a time for members of the public to discuss or express concerns of any issue not on the agenda. No action will be taken, and each person would have 3 minutes. Oh, there we go. We have someone.
Good evening, members of the Walton Council. I am here representing the newly organized pickleball group here in Wall. And tonight we wish to express our disappointment regarding the ongoing delays affecting a project we actually started 9 months ago. At that time, the city of Wall granted approval for the Wall pickleball players to utilize its 501c3 status to pursue grant funding opportunities. Additionally, it was recommended that we collaborate with the Wall Economic Development Director during this grant writing process. Our group is extremely appreciative of the time and effort Director Rashawn has dedicated and devoted to supporting our project. Unfortunately, the reasons for the current delay have not been fully communicated to us, and the deadline for our largest grant application is now at risk. Our project, which was originally intended to be considered independently, has now been granted with several other projects within the same grant application. Although the new stakeholders are fully aware of our request, we have not received any information regarding the nature of these additional projects or the identities of the entities making those requests. Throughout this process, we have maintained full transparency, we feel. However, it appears that the same standard has not been upheld by the city of Wall. This large grant application was the one that necessitated a memorandum of understanding, and it has taken us nearly 2 months to receive an approved format from the city's legal counsel. The pickleball players were actually prepared to sign that MOU at the most recent council meeting, but there were typographical errors in it, and they required correction. Upon submission of the corrected document to us, it was noted that an additional clause had been inserted, which we consider very questionable. Given that several entities are now included in this process, our assumption is that each entity will be required to submit an MOU as well. We respectfully request that the council clarify the procedure and ensure consistent transparency, and information sharing among all involved parties. Such measures will foster trust and enable timely progress on the grant application. We appreciate your attention to this matter. Time is of the essence because that deadline is quickly approaching. And I thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have any comments or issues that they would like to share at this time? Okay, that will move us on to the ambulance report.
Gonna be under a minute. We had 13 calls last month with 7 transports. We're preparing for the rodeo season. It's coming up next month. And we're also planning a fundraiser this summer during the celebration event.
That's under 20 seconds.
Save the clock. You guys have any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, that then brings us to the chamber report.
I can cut out all the joke that in that speech, so I'm gonna stay over a minute, but. Okay. I just wanted to give a reminder that our chamber annual meeting is next Wednesday at 5:30. And I've just really been buckling down and just getting everything finalized for that, so. You know, it's gonna be a good time and I hope to see most of you there. I wanted to ask the city to open the Rebel site for the community cleanup on Saturday, May 2nd. I do have that on the agenda for you guys to vote on.
Was it already said that we were going to?
Well, we couldn't vote on it last time because I didn't get on the agenda.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Michaela, did you have an alternate date?
I
Rain or shine.
do not, I'm a rain or shine type of person.
Okay, usually they have an alternate date.
Later that afternoon.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe
since
cheeseburgers instead of.
since moving to South Dakota, one of the things I've always heard is if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
Okay, so we're going for it
Yeah,
on the second, and otherwise, we're not doing
hopefully it doesn't snow.
it. We need the moisture.
Just jinx it.
Hopefully it snows the day after.
Yes.
So Garrett, do you see any issue with having the rebel site open?
Nope, I already got it on the calendar.
Okay,
Need a motion? So.
okay, it's been moved,
It's like,
Second.
and Mike is second on it. All those in favor say aye.
Alright,
Aye.
Okay, you got it.
Now add to dinner, but I've already talked to Kiefer and they will have roll-offs here that day, so
which,
Where are they gonna put them?
at the transfer station.
Okay.
when are they picking them up?
After the rain.
Yes.
Might have to have somebody camp out there, so.
Yeah, and the only reason that's actually a good thing, because even if we got rain a couple days beforehand, it'd probably be very difficult for people to get to the rebel site.
Yeah.
You know, so.
There, it'll be good there. And then probably, I don't know if they'll have someone down here, but we might. We might have to have one of us there, just to make sure that tires or batteries or paint or anything that's not supposed to go in there, so. I'll call Donnie tomorrow and see if he plans on having anybody there, but.
But if not, we'll post somebody up.
Yeah.
And we are not picking up tires.
No tires.
We're not picking up tires
Burning.
and burning, okay?
No, and that's not gonna be in the ad, so don't worry.
Okay, very good.
All right, and then I guess I just want to verify with Rick. That 7 AM meeting outside of the wall, outside of Wall Drug still works. I think
It
that's what
works.
you guys did last year.
We will be there, we will be serving coffee in front of the wall, right? For the Clean the Rockers ceremony.
That's all you have to say is coffee. Oh,
And
all right.
it won't be a nickel, free coffee.
It's gonna blow my change bag. Okay, awesome. Well, and Garrett's touched on all mine. I was gonna bring up that.
Sorry.
It was,
When you on there, Garrett, right?
I don't need it on that. It's a long day. And then, of course, Dr. Towser, mentioned that the school was doing their cleanup on April 23rd. I was gonna ask you, because nobody's really been able to answer this question for me. Does the chamber usually work with Dairy Queen to get ice cream bars for the kids on cleanup day?
Nope,
Is that a thing? No,
Nope.
it's not a thing?
nope,
Well, I'm gonna cross that off.
just, I think in the past, it's just that the only chamber stuff related to that was always the. Homecoming game, wasn't it? At the park, we do, I think.
Well, would we like to start doing that, something for the kids? Would the chamber like to pay you to serve ice cream sandwiches to
Sure.
the kids for helping clean up, or would anyone have a problem? Well,
So-
this is not our deal.
I
but-
think last year the school actually was,
Well, didn't they do that like the last day they had their ice cream machine or something?
well, no,
Okay,
at least
Okay.
one year they've done, they've taken the kids to Dairy Queen after the cleanup, I think, or done some kind of ice cream.
well, that gives you
They
something to
already
check.
did it this year.
We'll,
Oh, they did.
we'll do.
Sally buys ice cream bars and just brings them to the kids.
Okay,
She buys them?
Like the school just buys it, like
Oh,
goes to the
okay.
grocery store and buys sandwiches.
Okay.
It's never been like through the chamber.
Okay.
Okay,
It's just.
all right.
But if you ever need, just let us know.
I ever need ice cream, I will call you.
Doesn't need a blizzard.
I got a blizzard in between 4:30 and coming here tonight.
And now you're tired.
Sugar's crashing.
More candy.
I'm jumping all over the place over here now. Next Tuesday, I am gonna be part of the Dark Skies panel, during that International Dark Skies Week. I am one of 5 speakers. And I'm gonna try to meet up with Mary and Rashawn maybe Friday or Monday to go over the questions. Emily had sent them to me, yesterday. So, okay, if you guys have time, I'm gonna reach out to you. And then I have started planning for the citywide rummage sale. It'll be Saturday, June 27th. We're not gonna be Lowell is not a part of the scavenger journey this year. But I was still gonna align that rummage sale on that same weekend to kind of see if we can piggyback off the scavenger journey and, and I've had people call my office asking if we were gonna have a yard sale or whatever this year, so. That's it. I was over a minute, but.
Okay,
I would like to say, thank you very much, to the chamber and the support for the Easter egg hunt. It was a huge turnout. Huge turnout, and it was a great event and people really appreciated it, so thank you guys for supporting that and doing that for the community, so.
and then Zach, I was going to remind you that you were gonna, on that cleanup day, get some volunteers to clean up. What area did you talk about last?
Baby beds.
Baby Batman.
Yeah, baby Badlands, okay,
Sorry.
okay.
Thank you.
Good job there, all right, well, economic development.
All right, let me my notes. All right, I welcome everybody. I will try to go through this quicker than I usually do. So things I've done, I presented at, Western Dakota Tech's, CTE consortium, where it gets all the CTE teachers and principals together and they work out their funding and what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do that. About how we collaborate as economic development and especially us and Dr. Krauser and the school on getting kids ready for coming out into the real world. So we help them sort of see the opportunities, help the teachers kind of adjust their plans so that when they come out, they have the skills that businesses need. And I find out what kind of skills the businesses need, try to help the school with that, but very involved in the kids here because they are the ones that are gonna inherit this, and we need to prepare them now, so when they get out, that they can be good leaders and civic. What is the word I'm looking for? It's like, anyhow, I'll move on from that. But it went really well, and I actually had another community reach out to me and ask me how I went about that, how I fostered that relationship with our school and everything, so that they could set that up in our school. Same with that mailbox program. I have people call us all the time about that, of how we do that. And they think it's a great idea. So we will be continuing that. And I'm just gonna throw out there now, we have 27 graduating seniors this year. And so get your mailbox stuffers together and to me, because May 16th will be here before we all know it. Okay. I also attended a luncheon at Elevate on voting and businesses and how businesses can help employees get out to vote and encourage them to become civic members and get informed in their communities and the issues that are there. Because there was a study done that employees actually trust their employers more than they trust politicians. And so they will look to them for sort of leadership and how you can give them information without being political, give them links to things so that they can do their own researches and that kind of stuff. But what I did find out that was very disappointing and heartbreaking is that our last election, Pennington County's voter turnout was only 17%. So help encourage people to get out to their vote because our voice is really important. And if only 17% is out there speaking, then we're letting a lot of stuff go that we
we don't want to have happen. And this last legislative session kind of shows that. Speaking of which, the only real thing that came through that was economic development that, the legislators put through is they did pass a CAPS bill, which is capital improvement project, bill that, municipalities can put into place. There has to be a board that helps decide that, but they can put in a tax of 1% of gross receipts for capital improvements, but then that goes to the voters and has to be passed by the voters by 60%, so they can't just slide that in, it has to be approved. So, that was a good thing and another tool that municipalities can use to help with, capital improvement projects. I attended a dinner with Mead and Hunt, our airport architects, and I found out a lot of really good information about how we can get our airport set up and moving forward, and how much of a gold mine we're sitting on. I think I'm still in Mary's thunder there a little bit, but if we can get fuel in a car service, it will have a huge economic impact on Wall. There's so many pilots that will do what most of us do, take a Sunday drive and get a burger somewhere. They will hop in their plane and come here to shop and get a burger and then fly home. And if we have fuel, that will increase that revenue. So, we need to, I think, stand behind them. And then I attended was invited to a diplomatic roundtable, from South Dakota Trade, reached out to me. They have a Philippine delegation that's in this year, and they wanted me to come because we did such a good job hosting the Taiwanese delegation last year. So, I invited them to come and tour Wall and to see our ag farmers, and also I was told that they have a huge, workforce, that's English speaking, and they're looking to help find them jobs. And I said, well, we have H-1B visa workers, and that might be a option for collaboration between our community and the country. Also made some good contacts with some manufacturers, and also leads on that. Let's see here. Sally already talked about the CTE career fair. I will be there and I will be presenting and having information on our incubator program. So please stop by and see me about that. That is moving forward, really well. And, I have a couple of people that are interested in going into those spaces. So, that is positive for us. Lunch and learns are still on. We have one more for this, spring. That would be May 13th, which is a Wednesday, Mastering Your Money with Black Hills Federal Credit Union. We'll take a break over the summer, and I will be starting those series again. And we'll start in September with a presentation from West River Electric, and then October Golden West, and I will continue that through the winter months. So keep those on your calendar. Let your employees know, we'll be doing those over lunch. Will be the first Wednesday in the fall is when we'll be doing that. And then I am putting together a community meeting, to better understand what the businesses, residents, and partners, need and want and envision for Wall's future. Mind those two words. I'll be having, Peggy from South Dakota State University's Extension come here to facilitate that conversation. So it won't be me, it'll be a third party. They'll be asking questions to see where we need to move in the future. She's great at sparking new ideas and everything, so I'm really excited about that. That will be May 19th. I'll be having 2 sessions, one at noon, one at 5:30. I would like all of my council members to come, my business reps and my community, so reach out to me and let me know. Because I'm trying to keep it to about 20 to 30 people max per session so that everybody has a chance to talk and voice their opinions, and we can work together on making Wall what we all want it to be. So reach out to me if you want more information on that, or tell me what session you're coming to. And then my final thing is actually on the agenda. So for Energize, which is May 6th and 7th, that committee came in, we did our final meeting with them in person before the event, and they did walkthroughs through all of our host businesses, and could not be happier with the support and the friendliness and wonderfulness of our business community. They're really excited to come here and do that. But for those host sessions, they like to put sandwich boards out in front of the businesses to inform the participants which business is hosting which event. So I am requesting for those 2 days and those 4 sessions, 2 each day, if we could put the sandwich boards out on the sidewalks to let the participants know that this conference is in this business, and they'll get moved. They won't stay out there all day, but they'll get put out for that event and then taken away. So, I guess I need your approval for that, because you don't usually do that. That would just be for those 2 days.
I'd move to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that, it be allowed for the Energized Conference to use sandwich boards to indicate breakout sessions for our 150, how many people have registered?
We're at 131 right now, and Peggy says everybody likes to register last minute, so I did.
And I think the goal was 150. And we're getting
151
really
was our
close.
goal, so we're really close.
And that would be the largest Energized Conference to date, so
Yeah.
they are working really hard to get there. Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to allow, sandwich boards. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
One more thing on the Energized Conference, our evening event will be, here we'll have dinner and a presentation from the Bearded Ranger. And then we're going to load people up and go down to the park and see the dark sky. So we're gonna continue pushing that. So we'll let the rest of South Dakota strong communities know that we have that, and hopefully that will also push more people to our area.
John, what's Peggy's last name?
Collector.
Selector, that's it.
Selector?
Yeah.
Selector.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Collector.
SCH. Something like that. That's why I don't do last names. And that's all I have, unless somebody has questions for me.
No, no.
All right.
Okay, next on the agenda is to move the Fly Badlands signage. You requested that be put back in place at the last meeting, but wasn't on the agenda, so we didn't approve that. Do we have any more information on that or discussion or?
I guess I would just ask for a motion to have her work with Garrett on the location so that it's not infringing on visibility or wherever she wants to place it, and it's on the city property, so. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I haven't heard anything from her where she.
No, I think she was just waiting for approval and then she'll probably reach out to work with you when I let her know that it was approved.
Someone.
Okay, it's been moved
Second.
and seconded to have Anna work with Garrett as to where where her Fly Badlands signage should go along Airport Road.
We might need to hold off on that complete.
Okay, so let's talk about,
It's okay, he's back.
have you walked out there and see where she moved her office?
Yeah,
And where-
I was in the office. I talked to her brother.
And doesn't it look wonderful out there?
Yeah, really,
They
really.
didn't have electricity.
It was trenched in and they were getting it. Her brother's an electrical engineer, graduated Brown. He's wiring it. I think it's gonna be shipshape.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Okay.
All right, that brings us to item number 20. And in front of you, you have the memorandum of understanding that was reviewed and finalized with Roshan and the edits corrected. So I think this is a final version of this. The pickleball players had an opportunity to review it after it was corrected. And along with that, was also the list of members and supporters of the wall pickleball players. And that was also submitted, so we are looking for a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding.
I'd so move.
Dan moves,
Second.
Mike seconded. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next on their agenda also was the request that, because of the America 250 or Project 250 as it's called, if people wanted to put banners up, flags up, that, we waive the banner fees for doing so. It's been a request How do you feel about that? Is there any discussion or thoughts?
You know, as long as they didn't get out of control or
Well,
they were maintenance things.
wouldn't they still have to be approved?
They come through us and get approval for,
Yeah, they need approval to put them.
Just
But
not
just don't
charged.
charge them for it.
Yeah.
Not have to pay the banner permit fee,
Yeah.
okay? So would I have a motion to that effect?
some of,
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the banner fees for America 250 or Project 250 be waived. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Have you, has there been any more, okay. I was wondering if there'd been any more ideas that had come forward, for any businesses or anyone that's want to
I
do
can
that.
answer that for her now.
Okay, all right, so, Jerry submitted a, agenda request for a discussion about a new mower for the Wall Cemetery. And because you're aware of this, Carolyn, would you share the conversation?
And he talked to me a little bit about it too.
Okay,
So long story short, they're having problems with the mower again. So I, you know, kind of visited with them. It was looked at and due to the size, I forget if it was a 32-inch thing. I can't remember, but anyway, my question was, why don't we just, you know, go to a different mower? You know, maybe a little bit bigger. He told me that size was pretty important because of good going around out at the cemetery. The last time it was taken in, they basically told him that the axle was starting to go out. And this particular size is not a real common size anymore because everybody wants the bigger mowers. So I had asked him if he's taken it anywhere else. I think they took it to Powerhouse, which I suggested maybe they take it to Brown's, but you know,
and who's
after
they?
Terry,
Marion?
yes,
Okay,
and
cemetery people.
yeah,
Okay.
but you know, I mean, I can't remember, we were charged how much for that, Carolyn?
400.
Yeah, for them to tell us that the axle was going out, so really, yeah. So I just think that we're kind of, it's pretty important that we have that. It's got a lot of hours on it already. I think we just need to kind of pursue. There still is going to be the 32-inch decks. You're just gonna have to kind of, you know, seek them out a little bit. Who do you guys use? Do you use Gravely? Or what do you guys use?
We have Kubota.
So,
But I was gonna talk to,
John Madden.
John Matson, he sells equipment now in the Wonderwood.
yeah, so I mean, I think we just kind of rather than, you know, I don't think that there's a realistic fix to it other than replacing the rear axle, which is gonna be a lot of money, darn near probably 3/4 of what a newer motor or mower would be. So that was my thought is I think we just need to try to pursue getting something with a warranty and.
Do you want-
Yeah,
And then the cemetery looks so nice. I mean. Wall really has an exceptional cemetery. It's maintained, it's beautiful, it's up high. I mean, it's really a lot of history there.
how do you know, Carolyn, off the top of your head, how old that mower is? I mean, we've gotten our use out of it. I mean,
Probably said like a 2008.
yeah. And I
What
think
brand is it? Is it that
it's a
Dixon?
Toro.
Yeah, Dixon. I think.
Dixon?
Or,
Oh, Jerry
maybe
said it
it's
was a Toro.
Okay,
Oh,
maybe the Dixon was traded in for the Toro.
Yeah.
yeah, 'cause they have
But it
that.
wasn't new when he did get it, you know.
So that's at a,
Yeah, it's got like over 500 hours on, 600 hours, something like that, but yeah. So I think we're just to the point, we just need to get something new, reliable. So, yeah, if you would,
You want me to look
maybe,
into it?
yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, probably include Terry and those guys in on it. Cause they got little features, I guess, that they like, Jerry was kind of saying. They're not really ones for all the bells and whistles and all that stuff, they just want. The very simple works.
Zero, zero turn and that width of
32-inch deck, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, cause I mowed that for a few years and it's, if you don't have you don't have a small one, then you're weeding. You know, almost all of it, just because, you know, nothing's the same, there's some with the cement covers and there's some that don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, if you would do that, that'd be great.
Jerry has been working on it and that's one of his committee assignments. And so perhaps what we could do that would help things keep moving is to give him like a price amount and let them move forward and get something going rather than having to come back to the council. What would be a reasonable amount?
Do they have enough money in their account, Carolyn?
No, we never planned for something like that in their budget, but they have a lot of money in reserve.
So yes, there's.
How much were your mowers, Garrett?
20,000.
How much?
20,000.
Oh, boy. But. this-
What's a reasonable
I
number?
think they
for
were
a
thinking
zero
like
turn?
7 to 8 grand, I think.
Yeah, I would think if you went with a $10,000
Yeah.
limit.
I'd make that motion.
Okay, it's been moved to,
Second.
moved and seconded to allow Jerry to move forward, working at getting a mower with Randy, Harry, and Garrett, purchased for the cemetery. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Election board. Carolyn.
Okay, so we will have an election, and back in January, you, approved an agreement to combine with the school, and as Sally indicated, they have an election, so with that being said, we, usually put 5 on the board for that type of thing when they're working with 2 entities, so I've reached out to these people, and they have all agreed to work that day. And what we paid the last time was $250. So I guess I'm recommending again the 250 unless you feel differently. I just need a motion to approve this election board and the pay.
Okay, do I have a motion then to approve paying election board members $250 a day?
So.
Mike moved.
Second.
Zach seconded. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, anything further on that then, Carol?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right, next is a 3-year agreement for auditing services. You had a letter from Wallenberg Ritzman. As I read their letter, one thing that I noticed is several comments about the importance of internal control, and if you remember, with only one person in the office, that's always been something that was brought to our attention. So now that we have 2, the internal control and the way that they're working back and forth with the way they handle money, that should be addressed easily this year.
It will never go away, but
Okay,
it does help.
does help.
It has never gone away.
No, you need somebody to do separately to do payroll. You need somebody separately to do accounts payable. You need somebody separately to do accounts receivable. The school, they have 3 people in their office and they get.
Still get marked up on that.
So it never goes away, but they address it differently if you do,
Right,
if you're working towards.
so it'll get better.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, and then if you look at the quote that they're giving us, they're saying that our fee for the services will be the standard rate, so is that what they're quoting us here on page 5 is the,
I don't have that, but it's for 3 different years, that 25, 26, and 27, for 3 years, and what that increase will be each year.
so 15,5, 17,6, and then it goes to 20,000
Yeah.
for the 3 years, so do I have a motion then to approve the bid from Wallenberg Ritzman for a 3-year contract?
Some,
Zach moved,
Second.
Rick seconded. Any other questions or things I need to bring up relative to this, Carol? No? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Also on the agenda is, it's this time of year that we usually talk about the industrial park hay ground bid. And then we would move forward with advertising it. Garrett, have you drove by the industrial park lately to see what the hay ground looks like, or,
Yeah, that's no help,
okay?
but, the part Scott did doesn't look real good. There's quite a bit of weeds on it. I wish I could burn that whole thing off. I don't know if you guys noticed where we burn, how green it is, and how good the alfalfa's coming up, but
Okay. So are you suggesting then, that perhaps we just make this so it's for the first,
yes.
okay, first cutting, and then we will, if we get rain, we will negotiate or re-advertise. Okay. Does anyone have any other comments about the?
I have a comment, with that, what Garrett said, maybe we should give people the option to bid on the old parcel or as a group, or I mean, do it separately or together, however they choose. Just a thought.
Oh, for how long does Scott have that though?
Right, are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, I guess Scott, never mind. Scott has it for this year.
That's right, I don't think we should do that, okay. All right, thank you for clarifying that, Garrett. Okay, so with that being said, then, may I have a motion to bid the hay ground for first cutting only, to advertise for bid, and that would be opened at, the first meeting. How would that be advertised, Carol? Well, how do you write those? When would we let them bid?
We can do, I guess you guys tell me if the first May meeting is early enough, or if we can wait for the second meeting in May. I mean, I can get this to the paper, and then we'll get it out on Facebook and
Okay,
stuff too, but if it's critical that we hit the first meeting in May, then that's
Would you
what I'll
agree?
advertise it for.
yes, I think the first
Yep.
meeting in May. Okay, with that being said, do I have a motion to approve advertising the industrial park hay ground with the bids due to be opened at the first meeting in May?
So
Mike has moved,
second,
Zach seconded. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. We now are, Carolina, your report for the election update.
So as I indicated, there will be an election for the city of Wall. It will be held on Tuesday, June 2nd at the Wall Community Center and the school board as well. And that is also when the primary will be. Polls will open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. just to get everybody kind of thinking about it, there will be 2 separate tables. The first table coming into the grand hall will be for the primary. And then there'll have to be another table set up. That the city and school election, yeah, we can't all be at the same table. It's 2 separate elections, so. And then I just wanted to let people know, if you are not registered to vote, please call the office at 279-2663 or stop at the city office to get a form to register. And you can register online as well. The deadline for getting registered is May 18th at 5 p.m. If you have moved within the last 5 years, please call the city office. Again, our phone number is 605-279-2663 to be sure you are registered to vote in the correct ward. We can look that up for you. And then if you want to vote absentee, you can call the office or you can stop in to request the form and receive the instructions for voting absentee. Absentee ballots will be available next Friday, April 17th, until May 29th at 4 o'clock. So the election to be held will be in Ward 3, and the candidates are Todd Grimmett and Jerry Morgan. In Ward 1, the candidates are Lily Stone and Rick Husted. And for the mayor, and the candidates are Mary Williams and Gordy Kraut. If you have any questions or anything, I will be absentee voting for the county as well. And also providing that for the school and WASTA as well to absentee vote, because those people are able to vote the school district and the county. So since I'll be providing the county for them, they can come in and also absentee for the school, not for the city.
Who's running for school board?
For a 2-year position is, and who holds it currently is Candace Eisenbrown. She, they appointed her last year when only one petition was circulated. No one circulated for my spot. So they appointed her. She is running now to finish out that 2-year term, and Linda Eisenbrown. There are 2 3-year terms to be voted on, and they the running candidates are Lex Heathershaw. Did I say Mary or Marie?
Mary.
Mary Willowhite and Sharon Anderson.
Okay, and then Carolyn, you do have some more.
I have the pool to report on, but it's
Oh.
still talking elections.
There's no Ward 2.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. No, only Melanie circulated for Ward 2, so she's automatically on the council.
Okay.
And we'll take her oath after the election when everybody else takes their oath.
Okay.
And that will be the June 4th meeting.
Carolyn, when people bring the registration thing to vote, do they need driver's license or ID?
Always, yes, your
Always.
driver's license.
Good.
That's to absentee or whatever. That's a thing now.
And that voter ID is for this election coming up. It doesn't wait until July, because it will affect me immediately.
Okay, and then
Will passed and signed.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was always, we've always had to have the voter ID.
Well, Rashawn, what was that?
So, to register to vote, if you haven't registered, you have to prove citizenship. So you have to have an ID in that, and then, so that goes into effect for this June. If you're already registered, it doesn't affect you, you're good to go, but if you haven't, going forward, you have to have that. And I was just checking, I'm not sure if you have to have your ID to vote even in person, which you never had to have before, so.
No, you haven't.
No, you don't always have to. You've always had to.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I've served on boards lots.
Yeah, I've never shown one, not even in California.
You were
To
also
vote, I
busy.
never had showing ID.
That I I have always acted required.
Yeah. You were talking about some uniqueness for the people that vote in Quinn and then they have to go someplace else to vote for.
Yeah, I don't know how, I mean, I've not been asked to absentee for Quinn, but yes, people that. Although I guess I don't know if Quinns have an election. I don't think they are now that I think about that. I thought I asked Lisa the other day and she said no, that she would not. So that would not be an issue. They will, Quinn people will come here to vote school board, but then they'll have to go down there to vote the primary.
That's right, for congressional, governor, all of that, they're gonna have to vote there, but they have to come here to vote for school board.
Hmm.
If they live in this.
Yeah, it's gonna be very unique election. We're gonna have to stay on our toes. And I have chosen to, serve on the primary election as a superintendent. So I won't be at the municipal or school board table, I will be at the primary table. Just, I've got some experience and they asked if I wouldn't, so that I try to keep things, you know.
Okay,
Yeah, it's gonna be a little confusing when they forced us to.
well, there's
have
just
it
a
on.
lot of new stuff.
I think they're gonna find out that forcing us to do it at the primaries might cause more issues than it's really worth. But.
Okay. Now let's talk about the polls.
Okay, so Garrett will be attending the CTE Career Day on the 16th, and he will be encouraging students to apply as a lifeguard at the pool this summer. Will also be manager of the lifeguards at the pool this summer, checking on things being done and getting things done at the pool. I'll be putting the ad for the hiring and for the swimming lesson schedule in the paper, on the website and on Facebook. And I did get an email from Philip. They will be holding that certification timeframe May 25th and 26th. And we need to let them know by May 20th what lifeguards we have that will need to be certified. We have 5 verifications of returning lifeguards this year, so that came, well, lifeguarded for us last year, so. I'm not sure how many more we'll be looking to hire. I'll have to look at that too.
How many did we end last year with?
Oh, there was a bunch.
I thought we had like 11.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, but they were very limited as far as, you know, they had a lot of other commitments.
Yeah,
So
it kind of just depends on which ones are willing to just be lifeguards and their schedules. They can work a lot, but if they can only work because they've got a second job, that's,
Yeah, second job and camps and
yeah, makes us hire more.
sports.
And I know 2 of the 5 have said that they're gonna be a little bit more part-time with some other commitments and things. The other 3.
So will Garrett have applications to hand out
I will
to
be getting those.
any student? Okay, at the career fair, or to parents, if
And then
parents are
also
looking for the
the-
kids.
Pool handbook.
Oh, okay,
Now, you know you can't apply for that, Karen.
Yes. And
okay, any other questions or comments on the poll then? Anything else, Carolyn?
That's all I had. Unless somebody has questions for me.
Were we gonna talk about swim lesson?
Oh, yeah, we do need to look at probably increasing our pool, swimming lesson rates. Right now, they're at $20 plus tax, which comes to 25.
2130, isn't it?
Or is it 21.30? Oh, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we keep increasing the wages for the lifeguards and, I mean, we have been at $20 for probably the whole time that I've been here.
Okay,
Did you have a suggestion?
yeah.
I know they'd probably scream because it's a jump, but I guess that's what happens when we don't address it like we probably should, but I guess for this year, if we do 25, but we probably need to look at again next year and maybe increase to 30. I mean,
Perfect.
that's not a large expense for what
But
you
that
do
would
for
be
your
a
job.
step in the right direction. And
It'd
I'd
be
be,
25 plus there's tax on that. We
Yeah.
have to charge the tax, so,
So do you need a motion in order to do that?
yes.
Great, very good.
can we add next year too?
No, we'll just do that.
We'll do it next year. Okay, I make a motion, we go to 5 plus tax for lessons, swimming lessons.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to raise the swimming lesson rates to $25 plus tab. Any other questions? Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna beat Lily on my report.
Okay.
Your community center report was in your packet. We've got 3 weddings actually recently that we got scheduled, so that's kind of fun. And that's all I've got, unless anybody's got any questions on that community center report. Okay. It was about the same.
All right. Public Works. Garrett, bring us your news.
The sewer jetter, which we use to clean our sewer mains, the pumps out on it. So I took it to Grimm's Pump. To repair it is $10,000. Buy a new pump is $28,000. And the new trailer is like $90,000. So, I talked to Carolyn and we thought that there was money there to repair that, and it's a pretty, we need that.
Well, that's one of your major components on it, so,
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
And then I guess anybody have any questions on that or? Then the fuel spill, just update you on that. I tested got the soil sample tested and I'm waiting for the results for that before I can take it to the Rapid City landfill. And I made out a bill for cleaning it up, and then I also told them that they would also have the charges from, the testing, the hauling and whatever landfill charges us to take it out. So, and they've been bugging me about the invoice, so they must be paid pretty bad.
And who was this bill?
KZG Transport out of Chicago. They don't speak very good English. And I think our flag banners came in today. I think that's what's
That
on there.
box is, I think so. Display sales.
We'll be putting those up. Maybe Monday. That's all I have.
So because of that price, there does need to be a motion to approve him getting it repaired, if that's what you said.
So,
Garrett, what was the amount on the repair?
$10,200.
$10,220.80.
second.
Zach moved and Mike seconded to approve the quote for $10,220.80 from Grimm's Pump to fix the sewer jetter. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Anything else?
I guess if somebody says, the power to the park bathrooms, there's something wrong with it and it goes from the pool all the way over there. So we just put in skylights. So hopefully nobody complains about that.
Was the power that went there only for lights?
Mhm. And it wasn't grounded either. I found that out. So that's a good deal.
Okay. All right. For my mayor report, I wanted to first of all report that the South Dakota Municipal League District 8 meeting was well attended from other communities, 12 other communities, about 8. Thank you for those of you that attended it. Thank you for sitting with other people so that we kind of had an opportunity to visit with other communities and learn something about them and give us an opportunity to talk about ours. So, and they loved the catering job that was done that night, and the prime rib, you would have to agree, was just absolutely amazing. So that went very well. Okay, something that I got invited to by Jordan Neeb. He is the director of the Page County Commissioners, and Ron Roskinek, about a month ago, was to a committee wasn't even aware of, and that was called Pennington County Aging Council. And they asked us to bring a representative. I asked some people, Melanie was going to attend that, and then it didn't turn out, so I did go to that. And they, through commission money budget that they get, are able to receive requests for funding for different entities that serve the older folks in our county. And so when they were going around the table, and there was only like about 5 there, and this is my first time being there, they asked, what does Wall need? And I wasn't even prepared for that kind of a question, but the thing that popped into my mind was the fact that I knew that the lady that cooks meals on wheels at Prairie Village was working on a stove that was basically had one burner working at most, and she has built up her numbers that she is serving every day to about 14 or 15 people. So I just said, well, that's the only thing I can think of. And they said, well, then you get a quote on 3 and we will buy you one. So with the help of Melanie, we got them a quote, and they approved it. Have you got your money yet, Melanie? Okay, but.
Well, yeah, I got my money from the local.
Yeah,
We haven't
okay,
gotten it from them.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we had to submit the receipt then. And so if you happen to go have lunch at Prairie Village, you will see that there's a new stove there, and that Rhonda is very appreciative of that. And so that was just something that occurred, and again, makes it a little bit easier for them to accommodate the people that not only eat there with Prairie Village, but also the ones that they take out. So that was a very, good thing that I just fell into, and we will continue to attend those, and there will be another meeting at the end of this month. So we'll try to stay involved, and maybe there's some other ways that they'll be able to help us in the future. Okay, I also wanted to remind you that there's going to be a planning and zoning meeting April 20th at 8 o'clock in the morning. And we have a rezone request for the Hillcrest property area to rezone from commercial to residential. That's one of the things on the agenda. There's some other things that are starting to come in it's gonna work so that they would be addressed at that meeting also. Also on April 20th at 2 o'clock will be the airport bid opening for the design of the apron. And just exactly as Mr. Schultz was saying, our engineer Travis indicated to us yesterday how excited he is, because here's a preliminary list of the people that want to bid. I mean, we hardly had one the last time, and now, and he says that there are 6 contractors listed as prime to potentially put in a bid. So just from the way Travis was indicating, this is a really big deal. So he hopes this converts into great competitive pricing. So he shared that with us, and so that bid opening will be 2 o'clock on April 20th. And going right along with the airport, Tuesday, Roshan and I attended the mead hunt reception at the South Dakota DOT Airport Conference. And we got to visit and learn lots of good ideas from Custer and Spearfish on some ideas that they are doing at their airports. Their manager, the guy from Spearfish, he is just an amazing person and ended up winning an award then yesterday about how small things matter. And the airport is sometimes the front door to the community. And this guy, because of the, I'm gonna say clientele that flies into Spearfish, and the planes that they're flying in, that he rolls out the red carpet for them when they land. So Garrett, do you think, can you find some red carpet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought you'd get right on that, but anyway, that, there just are some amazing things that they are doing at that airport. And then Custer also won the small airport award. Also, again, having some very interesting people fly into that airport. And he just makes sure that he has good signage so people know where to find things, or he's not a 24-hour guy. A number they can call so that if they need something, they've got somebody to contact. And even like air flight ambulance one time needed him in the middle of the night, and he was able to accommodate them. So that was just an excellent airport conference and learned lots of good things. So that completes my mayor report for tonight. Are there any items for discussion? No action would be taken. And does anyone have something they wanted to bring forward?
So, we had talked in previous meetings about, those temporary rumble strips, like when the spring comes around, when traffic comes up. And we got some pretty good traffic starting to pick up, and been working at the lot there at the four-way, and people are still running it and stuff. So I was wondering if we'd still be interested in putting up those temporary ones that could be moved off after the season's over.
Okay, so,
Up to you guys.
okay, could you remind me what the cost of that was, or?
Is a little bit over $1,000. I just have it pulled up here because it was on my mind. $1,054.69 from this one website. You can get black, white, or orange.
Okay, so how many rumble strips is?
It would give you 96 feet. And these are ones that you can cut like with a utility knife. And laying down, there's a adhesive underneath, and it like says you just paint like a prime line, like get some primer, paint a line, and so that adhesion sticks to it. And then they come off pretty easily, they say, with the scraper.
So they're kind of a one season deal.
Yep. And it's 96 feet, so if you do like 4 feet or so for the width, then you would get quite a few strips out of that. 12, 15.
So are you thinking, where are you thinking they need to be? At the four-way stop at?
Yeah, definitely the four-way.
Is it Sixth and?
6th and
Glen.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one on both north and south, or all 4 stops, or what are you suggesting?
I don't think going 6th we would need it, because I don't think we have a problem with people running that way on 6th and Glen. Definitely heading north on Glen south we could too, just to have it over there. There are some that run it, but not as much as what's going north.
Headed north.
Yeah, heading north, yeah. Northbound. And then if we wanted to bring attention to that digital sign to like right where the city street starts from South Boulevard and it switches to, or it's all Glen, but on that line there, if we wanted to put something up right where they come into City Street and then hit it, and then the 20 mile per hour signs right there.
So total cost that you're thinking about then? Carolyn, have you got your little budget deal?
What's there's a certain amount that we can go, correct? Like if we ordered 2 of these, that'd be $2,100 roughly.
So she can approve a purchase order up to 2,500.
Okay.
Anything over that, the council has to approve.
But this would be street budget and is it financially possible to spend that much?
I mean, the budget's early, but yeah, I'm sure. I don't have it, I guess is it sitting over there?
So those are the rumble strips. What about the cost of the whatever stuff it takes to put it down? Is that?
It's just primer paint.
Okay.
You can grab that from hardware store or whatever. If you guys have.
Or that
access to it.
special adhesive you're talking about?
Oh,
That
it comes on it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's already in it. On it.
Are they loud?
So these aren't like huge. They're like a 1/4 inch high. So they're like that high. So what I feel is it's not, when you're outside the vehicle, like if you're walking, you might hear like a little bit, but like if you're in your house, you won't hear it.
That's what I was wondering.
It's more to get the attention of the driver. when they're going.
Okay, I just didn't know if we were gonna have residents
Yeah, like.
being woken up in the middle of the night from.
Yeah, and that's a good thing with them too, if they're temporary. And like we do have that noise pollution of like people in their house and they're hearing it, then people having trouble sleeping and stuff.
Which most of the people on that street are the ones that are upset about speeding.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in front of my house.
I was just gonna say, Garrett.
That's not my backyard, right?
You can go in front of Wake and Bacon lots, would be off from your house. But yeah, I mean, for sure, because coming up on that 4-way, it's about right there. And even, I know we've had a couple accidents down on Main Street and South Boulevard. I mean, Mike knows about that, but do it on city side of the street, going up to the stop sign on South, could do some strips there too. Like those double strips or whatever.
Okay, so you're talking up by Welsh Motel, is that what you were saying?
Yes,
Then the four are
in the 4-way.
by the blinking light.
Yep.
And then if there's still some, use it on the city side of the,
And wherever, I mean, we think it would be beneficial, like, but we've gotten multiple complaints, with Glen Street, and we have all the signs up that we possibly can.
And I suppose you guys, where are you pulling most of your people off besides Glen?
Besides Glen, most common place I pull people over in town is either South or 4th. And outside of town, it's Highway 240, because people are just speeding.
okay, council, what's your thoughts? I've asked all the questions I can think of to ask.
Well, I don't think it'd hurt to try it. No, were you talking about South Boulevard?
No, right where City Street takes over,
Main.
on Glen is where, and I was talking about Main, yeah, down here on city side too, which would be on the north side of South Boulevard.
Like
Like you're,
by stomping ground.
yeah, like you're driving towards the food center. Main Street.
Yeah, because there's been accidents there.
Mike.
Okay. Well, I don't think it hurt to try it here. I mean, we're surely gonna know if it's effective. I do for it.
Stan, do you have any thoughts, Stan? No thoughts. Mike, how about your thoughts?
You know, I would hope it would do something. But, you know, I mean, attempting to solve the issue is better than not at all, so.
Just- Usually when I'm crossing Glen, going east, and I stop there, boy, I really watch the cars, wondering if they're gonna stop. I mean, I'm sure wouldn't hurt.
Sorry. I was listening, but I was muted and I was making a meatloaf sandwich, so sorry, but I think it's a good idea to go ahead and try it and we can just see if it works.
Where do you want them at?
What, in my mind, what I'm thinking is,
I know like locate, like, I know what street and where, but you want it 30 feet behind the sign, you want it 50 feet behind the sign, you want it right at the sign?
what do you guys think?
Well, it's gotta be behind the sign.
Yeah, before the sign for sure. Like for that one, the first one over by BJ's and Welch's, I'd say like right where we'd be able to right on city, right where the city road starts.
After the crosswalk?
After the crosswalk, after the crosswalk on the north side of the crosswalk. And then the stop sign, I mean. 30 feet back from there, would that be, well, from the stop signs, about 30 feet would give enough?
If they're doing the right speed, that should.
Yeah, that should. Give them,
But a lot of times they're coming in down there 30 miles an hour.
yeah,
Just saying.
30, 35, 40, for sure. Well, and that's what hoping the first set will do is they hit them and they look up and then that speed signs flash and slow down, you know, which I would think they'd see that already, but apparently they think it might increase after it goes by that.
Any other questions? So, do I have a motion?
No, you can't make a motion.
We can't do,
You can't make a motion
We can't.
because it wasn't on the agenda.
But you can authorize it.
right?
And I mean, yeah, it's just, you have a
Okay,
consensus that
absolutely.
people are for it, so
Okay,
as long as it's under the 2,500, he can order it and that you can approve the purchase order.
And maybe talk to law enforcement and see how far back they think.
Yeah,
Maybe
that'd be-
there's probably what's that?
MUTCD, yeah, for sure. Hey, I got that.
I don't have that one.
Yeah. I'll look it up for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Stan, you're good with this?
We're talking to these guys now.
You're good with it?
Yeah, and Stan said he was.
Yeah.
Good with it.
Yes, I'm good with it.
Thank you. So, okay, your ketchup up there. Okay, then we'll move forward then.
Thank you.
All right, any other items for discussion? Okay, next city council meeting will be April 23rd at 6:30. And we do have a need for executive session. It's, oh, it didn't get on. Executive session. Well, do you have?
What's contractual?
Thank you, folks.
I make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing legal personnel issues according to SD DL 1-25-2 parentheses 5.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I,
Hey Ted, I saw you working all the time you were over there. Did you come?
He's
over-
trying to get ahead.
Where is the positive none? They are not, I thought it was gonna be under those settings, but it's not.
That's what we've got, and he said it was 100 feet, because when a car traveling at 25 miles an hour.
Oh, there we go.
33.
Okay, I declare us out of executive session. There's no action to follow the executive session. I declare the meeting adjourned. Good night.
Oh.
So then just, do I stop the recording?
Yes.